Hello everybody, this is P-Town, and welcome to a brand new tutorial here on the Minecraft Math Magic tutorial series. Today I'm going to be showing you how to build a new mob farm design I came up with a little while ago. Unlike the last design, which was very survival friendly, was very resource cheap, and required no redstone, it just relied on mob pathfinding to get the mobs out of the farm. This one uses some redstone mechanics to kind of speed up that process and get them down and dead faster. And it also takes a greater advantage of mob pack spawning, which means faster rates. So the way it works is actually pretty simple. Nice screenshot there. There's 6 mob spawning pads. These are just upside down half slabs, and they're 11 by 11 each. And there's pistons on the sides connected to this hopper clock. So on the clock, the pistons shift the entire floors back and forth. So as mobs spawn in these layers, and the pistons shift the floors, the mobs drop down one layer at a time until they're at the bottom layer here, this water collection area, where they're funneled to the center and dropped onto these hoppers below, where their loot is collected and sent into these chests. So it's real nice. Yeah, it's fairly simple. Now the way it takes greater advantage of pack spawning than other mob systems that I've seen is, well, actually I should explain pack spawns themselves. When Minecraft tries to spawn a hostile mob, it usually doesn't try to spawn just one. It will actually check in the initial attempt in an area around the spot it's chosen to see if there are other suitable spawn locations for the mob of that type. That means that, say it tries to spawn a zombie, like we just saw, it will check the area around it to see if it could spawn up to 4 or up to 3 other zombies. So for a total of 4, and that's called a pack. And because this farm is just, the pads in this farm are just big open areas, there's nothing obscuring or blocking any other potential spawns other than the boundaries of the farm itself. Pack spawns are usually successful. So as we can see, there's a pack of four creepers that just spawned here. And yeah, so actually most spawns in this farm are going to be pack spawns, which means we get way better rates. In fact, I clocked it with this farm, we get up to 7,500 drops per hour, which is pretty fast considering the farm is only, and this is an outline of the farm itself, just showing you the volume it takes up. That is 15 by 16 by 22. So it's relatively small for a farm that gives these kinds of rates, which is nice. There is one drawback to this farm, and that is because it's shifting so many blocks at a time, you could feel especially on like older machines, older computers, you can feel a bit of a stutter as it shifts the floors. Now, my machine's not the greatest, so I do feel just a little bit of a lag spike every now and then. You may be able to see it as I walk back and forth. It just kind of stutters a bit. But it's not that bad. But if it bothers you, then you could always just AFK. And to turn this farm off is pretty simple. You just put a lever here on this hopper clock, turn it off. There you go. That keeps that piston locked, so the clock stops. So if you're interested in knowing how to build this thing, watch on, because I'm going to show you exactly how. Alright everybody, the first thing we're going to build is our item collection area. The simplest way I think would just be to put multiple chests like this to handle the volume of items we're going to get, and then behind it a 5x5 area of hoppers leading straight into the chests. So just put a row of 5 hoppers chained into each other, facing straight into the back of the chest, and these hoppers are where the mobs are going to fall and die, so that their items are sent straight into the chest. It's pretty simple. If you wanted to hook up an item sorting system, I'm sure you could, but we're just going to keep things simple for now. Next, once we've got our item collection area done, we're going to go from the middle up 30 blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Cool. Now all the blocks below this one we can just delete. Those are just temporary. Cool. Now, centered on this block, we need to build a 13 by 13 platform with walls 3 blocks high. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Alright, our 13 by 13 area with 3 high walls is complete. Now you notice I left these walls on the sides only 2 blocks high, and that's for a reason we'll get to in just a second. But I should clarify at this point that the blocks I've chosen to use are not necessary. I'm using iron blocks just because it provides a nice solid outline for you to see, and the glass because I like to see inside of this chamber, since this is where the mobs will all be funneled to. So the area inside of here is 11 by 11, which matches our pad, spawning pads. So we're going to go ahead and start placing the first spawning pad above this chamber. So go here to the corner, go 2.5 blocks up, and then on the third block here, place it on the upper portion. Make sure you don't place it here. They need to be up here, otherwise the mobs won't spawn. And just fill in. I'll go ahead and outline the area, actually, that you need to fill in. Oops. There we go. Yeah, fill this entire area in with half slabs so you have a complete 11 by 11 spawning pad. Alright, our 11 by 11 spawning pad is almost complete. Now we need to add the rows of pistons that will push it back and forth. So we're going to come down to this side where the wall is only 2 blocks high and place 11 pistons in a row facing the slabs like this. And we'll do the same for the other side as well. Also facing the same direction. Very nice. You should have 11 pistons on each side facing in towards the spawning pad in the middle. Now you'll notice that if the pistons were both extended, they wouldn't actually push the pad, so we need to extend it in one direction on one side so that it has something to push off of. So I'm going to come over here to the right side and add another row of slabs, again on the upper half, matching this side, so that the pistons have something to move. Great. So now that that is done, we're going to add a row of blocks on top of the pistons and a row of redstone on top of that, like so, and put a row of redstone on top of these blocks. And this is what's going to control the pistons with the clock. We'll worry about hooking this redstone wire up to the clock at a later time. First, we're going to finish setting up all of our spawning pads. There we go, just like that. Now we're going to add some walls to the spawning pads so that there's darkness in there, or at least walls on 2 sides. I've chosen red clay because it's pretty. So just build up the blocks, or build up a wall 2 high like so, and do the same thing here. Now make sure you don't put the blocks for the walls too close to the inside. Make sure you've still left uncovered an 11 by 11 area. Excellent. Alright, the next thing we're going to do is continue placing more spawning pads. We'll worry about adding walls to make it dark later, for safety reasons too, if you're building this in survival. We're going to place 5 more pads for a total of 6. And the easy way to do this is actually to come here to the redstone wire and place your pistons on top of it like this. It makes it very easy to keep the pistons facing in. Great. And just build another 11 by 12 spawning pad. Remember, it extends 1 additional block in this direction to touch these pistons. So like this. Yeah, make sure it's 1 block separated from these pistons and touching those pistons. I'll go ahead and outline the area that you need to fill in one more time. Like so. So go ahead and fill this slab area in with upside down half slabs once again. Excellent. Your spawning pad should look just like this. Now we're going to do the same thing we did earlier to run the redstone wire on top of these pistons. Just place a row of blocks like so, and then a row of redstone directly on top of that, and the same for this side. Great. And then once again, we're going to do the same thing where we did a wall, 2 blocks high on the left and right side, directly against. You can think of it as going directly against the block with the redstone on it. That should be a nice, easy to find guide for every layer we do. And there it is. So this is kind of what it looks like. Just continue this pattern up 4 more times for 4 more pads, for a total of 6 spawning pads. By now you should have a good hang of the pattern. So I'm going to go ahead and complete the 4 other pads, and I'll see you guys then. Alright everybody, here we have our 6 complete spawning pads. Just remember to follow that pattern that we used for the second spawning pad on up. And I would just like to re-emphasize that you make sure you don't have a block, you don't have a row of slabs touching these pistons here, but you do on this side. So while this area, this open area is 11 by 11, the area of slabs you actually place is 11 by 12. It's extended 1 extra block in that direction. If you do 1 extra block in both directions, you'll mess it up. It's bad. So at this point, we've got some options. We need to wall off the front and the back. So what I like to do is bring up some guide pillars here. This is not totally necessary, but it makes it easier to place blocks. And it looks a little bit better. So I'll bring it up on this side. And basically all we need here between this pillar and this pillar is just a solid row of blocks covering this entire area. But if you're like me, you like to see the insides of things. So we can use actually half slabs, which will block off the light to make this area dark, but we'll also be able to see inside. So just put some half slabs on the bottom half of every block here, like so. You can see the room's kind of getting a little bit darker. And as we fill in this one, it's going to get a lot darker. There we go. Actually, we need to close off the other side too. But yeah, just continue to place half slabs. Whoops, I'm breaking everything. Just continue to place half slabs on the bottom half of every block on this guide pillar here, if you choose to do it this way. Otherwise, you could just fill the whole thing in with solid blocks. And there are the walls on the front and back. I used half slabs on the front, and on the back I used just red stained clay so you can see what it looks like. Kind of like the half slab look a little bit better. And if you use it on both sides, it's actually really easy to see the mobs inside. It's a little bit difficult at the moment, but you get the idea. The only thing left to do in terms of spawning pads is just to cover this top one. The cheapest way, I think, would just be to use more half slabs. So just build another 11 by 11 area directly above. Also, the benefit of half slabs is that you don't have to worry about making the roof spawn proof if you choose to do this. So I'm going to go ahead and cover this with half slabs. I'm going to fill in this 11 by 11 area here. And there's the roof. Pretty simple stuff because you've already done it like 7 times. Next, we're going to go ahead and finish the water collection area here. Just find the center block. Yep, here it is. And bust out a 3 by 3 area in the center. And we're going to use a trick to hold back the water that we're about to place in a second. Place a sign there, a sign on top of that one, a sign on top of that one, and a sign on top of that one. So you have 3 signs floating here. And then on each side, place a sign against the sign. So it's occupying every space in this 3 by 3 hole. Sweet. Looks like a crazy little boat, doesn't it? Now, the water for this is very easy. Just go to these corners, go up 1 block, place a water source in every corner. And there we go. We get no dead spaces and the water flows very safely to the middle. Awesome. Alright guys, as you can see, the mobs are spawning and ready to go. So there's just one last thing we need to hook up to this farm in order to get it running, and that is the hopper clock. So we're going to come here to this level, place 2 blocks, and just put the hoppers here. Rather than explain why it's best that they go exactly here, just trust me, this is the best position for it. So kind of in the middle, and at the same level as this first half slab, we want the hoppers. Now we're going to place the hopper clock by going like so with the comparators. It's not my design, so I don't like to explain it. I use it a lot. But I didn't come up with it, so this is Etho's hopper clock design, so check out his tutorial on that. I'm just going to build it real quick so we don't have to talk about it. If I had come up with it, I would be explaining it, but I didn't, so I won't. Alright, and we just put an item in and it's going. Great. Take the item out. So hopper clock works. We're just going to take the signal from this redstone block here, stick 2 repeaters so that as the block changes, the repeater is lit up individually. Place 2 blocks at the level of the repeaters and then a row of blocks next to that, and we'll harness the signal from this like so. And a row of blocks here. There we go. Weird glitch there. Alright, so when we get here, we're going to put a repeater as we come in line with this column, this guide column we have. Stick a block, and then how should we do it? Go ahead and do the same for this side with a repeater and a block where the repeater is facing into the block. And now we're going to use a slab trick to get the redstone signal up. So place redstone there, and then alternating upside down half slabs like so. And as you can see, the redstone is traveling upwards, crisscross like this. And we're going to alternate these half slabs all the way up. So I'm going to go ahead and skip to that. It takes a little bit of time because you have to place guide blocks and then break them after you get the actual half slabs you want in place. But the pattern looks something like this, just alternating half slabs, upside down half slabs, every other block like so. And do the same for the other side as well. Alright, your upside down half slab wire should look something like this. Now, as you can see, the signal just barely reaches here, but we're lucky because we can re-strengthen the redstone signal. This is the 15th block, actually, so one more redstone piece of redstone and the signal wouldn't travel. But that's just close enough for us to use a repeater to power this row of pistons. Now, you'll notice that because of the pattern of zigzag slabs we have here, you kind of have to alternate which block you put the repeater on. For example, this one, the block that the repeater is on is directly in line with the block of the redstone. But here we have to put the block in line with the pistons and then the repeater like so. But it works just fine as well. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Just place a block, place a repeater facing either into the redstone or into the block with the redstone. Right here we use block with redstone, and right here also the redstone itself. And go ahead and do the same for the... Oh, we got some mobs spawning. Awesome. Go ahead and do the same for the other side. And there it is. If you ever get confused by this step, just remember you want the redstone facing directly into the repeater like this. No matter which level it's on, the redstone goes straight into the repeater like this, except for the very bottom one. But that's because the repeater is directly powering the block, and this repeater is pulling that signal out of the block. So now we just need to throw some items into this hopper clock, and it is ready to go. So let's do 5 items. 5 or 6 items seems to be good, but we'll do 5. Could be 5 anything. All right, and we should start to see plenty of mobs pouring in and filling these chests with their goodies. Oh yeah, so many. They're all waiting to fall out because they've been spawning like crazy since I've been up there. Now, if you're wondering the best place to AFK, it's probably right around here, directly underneath the farm. It's close enough for mobs to spawn, but not so close that they won't spawn, and not too far that they'll despawn quickly. And if you want to shut this farm off for any reason, simplest thing to do is just grab a lever or lever, depending on who you are, stick it on this block, and just turn it on, and that will keep the piston locked, which will disable the hopper clock. So there you have it. The farm is complete, and again, this farm gets about 7,500 to 8,000 items per hour. That's of course, at optimal spawning conditions. Like here, the only place anything can spawn is inside the farm. So light up those caves, son. All right, everybody. Hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I'll turn it back on because it's fun to watch. Let me know what you think. Hope you get something good out of it. I gotta face the camera. All right. Thanks everybody for watching, and I will see you guys again next time. And we'll go ahead and do the same for the other side. Oops. 2. Oh my god. Why do people want me to do tutorials? I suck at these.